Hi, Tony Poulos here at TM Management World Africa, and I have a guest with me now, Keith Reynolds from NSS. He's a consulting and training manager with NSS, and I've asked him to come along and give us a bit of background on his company's exposure to some of the TM Forum's processes. Welcome, Keith.
Thank you, Tony.
Your presentation talks about mapping the TM Forum's business process framework, otherwise known as ETOM, with ITIL. Can you tell us a bit more about the current state of this effort?
Well, Tony, the current state is that the Board of Telemanagement Forum, as well as the Board of IT Service Management Forum International, have got together to see where they can collaborate and not reinvent the wheel necessary in certain spaces here.
Why is ETOM and ITIL alignment so important for the industry?
I think the main reason for the alignment is that we don't go and do the same things over. Where we've got touch points, we can use the same synergies, work off each other, and also bring IT thinking or some of the progress made in the IT world to the TMF, and TMF's progress in the other business spaces and the ETOM model back into the IT world.
Have you had a lot of involvement with ITIL over the years yourself?
I've been involved with ITIL specifically since 1996, and been involved with ETOM for a few less years than that.
Wow. Well, as a network consultant in the African market, what do you see as the most significant challenges facing the market in, say, the next 3 years?
I believe from a process perspective that there'll be a continual growth in the understanding and the requirement for processes. As was said this morning in one of the presentations, don't overspend your time in the process analysis, but go on and do what's necessary. And I believe what's going to happen, or what I see happening, is models like ETOM and the ITIL models getting closer to each other and providing solutions for organizations instead of them having to go bump their heads and find out the hard way.
Are operators in Africa getting past this subscriber acquisition stage and starting to look seriously at processes, or were they into processes right from the beginning?
I believe most of them are into processes from the onset. If you look at the South African market specifically, where they've come from traditionally, they were process orientated in the historic companies, the telecoms and so on. So yes, they have been around. I think it's just a question of maturity now.
Keith, we're hearing a lot at this conference about the massive growth in Africa in the telecommunications market. Some people have been using the word burgeoning. Is that true? Is that really happening here?
Tony, I must agree with you. If we look at the South African context alone and the number of operators that have grown over the years, especially with the introduction of the second network operator and so on in the recent times, as well as going into the rest of Africa, where in Nigeria, for example, an organization went in and the capacity to keep up with the demand is just not there. They cannot keep up with the demand in that space a few years down the line even. So yes, I'd have to agree, it's definitely growing.
So it's the time to be in Africa.
Absolutely.
Keith Reynolds, thanks very much for being with us today.
Thank you, Tony.